To put together your alphabet assignment, we are going to be using the Photoshop app. You could also be doing this in a Google document, but the key to your alphabet is you want all of your alphabet to be on one page. So what I have done is I basically started the same thing that I had done for the kaleidoscope. I opened up a blank 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I started to introduce my photos to it. But what I wanted to do is, what if you have to crop one of your photos in order to make your letter a little bit more readable? So what I'm going to go back to do is go back to the main space. I'm going to go ahead and open an image from my photos, an image that I just took, not me and my dogs, but an image that I just took, and we'll just go with the R here. So I have this as the letter R, but you can see that it doesn't exactly look like the letter R right now because I have to crop it. So one thing I want to do is I want to go to my cropping tool. I can rotate my image, so that it is more of an R, and then I can redirect my boxes to get the R that I need. So you can see that I'm simply cropping. I'm going ahead and I'm saying that I'm done with my cropping to form my letter R. And what I want to do now is I'm going to select this. So I'm going to select all. You can see down here in the middle, I'm selecting all. And then what I'm going to do is I need to copy. So I'm going to copy this layer. And now I can actually go to my alphabet that I've already started. Okay, it's saving that. That's fine. Now I can go over here and I can go ahead and I can paste. All right, so there is my R right there. Now, obviously, it's too big. So what I need to do is I need to go to my cropping tool, and I'm going to show you how to crop these to make them all the same height. Now, make sure you are grabbing a corner. Remember, if you grab the side, it's going to stretch and skew your image. So make sure that, again, you are only grabbing the corners. Now, what I want to do is I can zoom in on this, move this closer to my sock monkey D, because that's the letter D. I'm using all dog toys for my alphabet, if you haven't guessed already. So, there, look, it's the perfect height. That's what I need it to be. Now, R does not come before D, so what I can do is I can use my move tool to move that out of the way. And what I want to do is pay attention to what is going on our layer panel over here. Right now, I just created layer 2 as the letter R, and let me show you how to rename. If I go to the 3 dots, I go to rename layer. I can just type in the letter R, hit rename, and now I have my letters organized. Trust me, you will want to do that in order to put together your alphabet. The more layers you have, the more confusing it will get. Now, what I want to do is show you how you can actually group layers. Because right now I have some random letters right here. Probably be a good idea for you to organize your alphabet in alphabetical order. But let's say you have some combination of letters that you want to keep. Like for me, what I'm going to do, if I want to move that letter E, make sure that you select the letter E and see how now I'm using my arrow keys to kind of nudge and create a little space. It is completely up to you if you want to have no space at all, but that looks kind of weird, like a sock monkey with the letter E growing out of its head. So that's why I'm going to choose to put a few little spaces in between mine. Now, what if I want to keep that D and that letter E exactly like it is, paired up like that? Well, what I have to do is I have to create what are called groups. I can actually link these layers together by putting them into a group. So another thing about Photoshop, even in the desktop version, where you have groups, better organized layers makes for an easier project. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go here to the 3 dots. I am going to not go to the 3 dots. I'm going to go to the plus sign and hold down on that so I can new empty group. All right, so I'm going to create a new empty group. Here you go, group 1. And now it's a little tricky, so watch this. I'm going to grab and highlight the letter D. I am going to hover the letter D right over that group. And it should pop into that group. Nope. Let's try one more time. I was practicing with this earlier, and it was very tricky. There we go. So you can see that now it's indented a little bit. So if I want E to be in that same group, you guessed it, I need to drag it up, place it right there. And so you can see it kind of moves over a little bit. So now, watch this. When I highlight group 1, and I want to move these, like let's say I need to move it over a little bit more, I can actually move it together. That is so key for this assignment, that you can kind of move things around together. So once I get my A, my B, and my C together, I can group it with these, and maybe I will have my first line of my alphabet. Who knows, I may be able to move it over and squeak in a letter F as well when I'm doing this. The height of your letters should be the same, but notice my R and my D are not the same width. I don't care. The height should be the same, not the width. Once you get this whole thing put together, obviously you can save this along the way. You're not going to get it all put together in one session, so it might take you some time to do this. And if you want to create a alphabet where it's all fused together, or if you want to have a little white space in between your letters, do so, that's fine. But I would definitely create your rows and create some groups, all right? So if I want to, again, rename this, I can just go to here, the 3 dots. I'll go to rename that letter. That's the letter L that you're looking at right there, and I can go ahead and rename. I have another one right here with the dog toy of the donut being my O. So again, I can click rename. It makes it way more organized when you're doing your alphabet and piecing this together. So again, the goal of the alphabet is to have it all on one document, whether it's all grouped together or you have spaces in between your letters. Try to make it as uniform as possible so that it is pleasing to the eye when we are looking at your completed alphabets. Once you're done, you will be saving it, and then of course we will be uploading it to Schoology to turn in.